Hello, good morning, and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Aaron James, channel that brings you your team every single day, guys. It is Friday morning, Friday the 7th of March, and we are, well, I don't know, it's a good Friday morning yet and again. I mean, look, I think Rangers continue to confuse the shit out of me. They really genuinely do. A team that looks like a Sunday Park team in a domestic competition can go and look like a bunch of world beaters on a Thursday night. I think you know what I mean. Fair play to the lads. They played exceptionally well last night in a very very hostile atmosphere against I would actually say a very poor Fenerbahce team. A team that was probably good about 10 years ago. But look, I think, no underestimating the gravity of this result to go to a very hostile place like Istanbul, get the victory, win 3-1 away from home. A game, if Cyril Dessers learnt the offside rule, could have been over by now. This tie could have been well and truly done and dusted if Dessers understood the offside rule. Could be 4-5-1 the result. There's kind of, for me, a little bit of echoes of Dortmund, during the Europa League run to all the way to the final back in Gio's time, when we went to the Westfalenstadion, won there, and I think there was obviously a lot of people doubting our ability to win there, the same way there was a lot of people doubting our ability to go to Istanbul and win yesterday. I think there was a lot of expectation that Rangers would go there and Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce would roll us over. Look, I think, reflections on the game last night. Yesterday evening was last night Turkey time. This evening, Rangers, obviously Glasgow time. Some reflections. I mean, look, I think Barry got it spot on. I think Barry got it absolutely spot on with his team selection. I think when the team news was revealed, there was, I think, some people who were a little bit surprised at the team. I think a little bit I saw comments like, how many midfielders does he want to play? But I think, overall, he got it absolutely correct. People have criticised Barry Ferguson as a manager. They've said, oh, he was a failure at Alloa, a failure here, he was a failure at Kilty Hearts, etc., etc. But, for me, again, last night, he proved himself to be, quite an adept manager, quite an adept coach. So obviously with the assistance of Neil McCann and Billy Dodds and Alan McGregor, the guy got it absolutely spot on last night with that team selection. I mean, obviously Team Butland in goal. I think Butland was all right last night. He made some decent saves at times. Yes, there was one or two moments where you were like head in hands, eyes shut. What the hell's he doing? The back three was Tavernier, Suter, Proper. Obviously, Proper went off injured. Balogun came on. I thought Balogun was excellent last night. I absolutely love Big Leon. The man is a legend. Hjefte and Ridvan were the wing backs. Midfield three of Baron, Dio, and Raskin, who were excellent, and Cherney just off Dessers. Look, I think, again, it was correct. He got it absolutely spot on. He's got it spot on for a number of reasons. I think, look, with the central defensive situation that we're in, with the fact we don't really trust Robin Proper, John Suter returning from injury, I think it was right to go with the back three. I've got to say, having John Suter back last night was absolutely massive. The guy is absolute different class. He put his body on the line. He was man of the match for me. He absolutely stood out. There was not a player on that pitch that came close to John Suter and his performance last night. He was absolutely outstanding. It's so good to have him back. He is just, like I said, I've said it, I get criticism for this. I get criticism for everything I say. John Suter is the best centre-back in Scotland, better than Carter Horse-Vickers by a mile. I mean, the lad is different class, absolute different class. I mean, he'd walk into Celtic's team, he really would. He's absolutely brilliant. He proved last night, how good he is. He did it in Europe, he did it at the highest level. So all of you people who are criticising and doubting him as the best centre-half in Scotland, watch last night's performance. Carter Horse-Vickers wouldn't do that. I thought he was decent. I thought Tav was decent as a right side centre back. Obviously it got him out of the situation where he's lacking, which is his pace. That's the issue. When he gets on one as a right back with a winger, the winger 9 out of 10 will absolutely skin him because he hasn't got any pace anymore. But look, putting him into that back three gave him protection. Obviously with Suter inside of him and Ridvan outside of him. So very very tactically clever from Barry Ferguson last night. Thought the midfield three, Raskin, Barron and Dio worked their absolute nuts off last night. They were absolutely first class. Raskin was absolute different class last night. And obviously, the involvement in the Cherney goal, the shot that bounced off, that I think Dessers scored, but it was offside as per. But Raskin was absolutely brilliant last night. He was one of the, again. I think if you weren't going to give the man of the match to John Suter, Nico Raskin would be my second vote for man of the match after John Suter. And it is man of the match, guys. It's not player of the match. I hate that word bullshit. You know what? It makes me absolutely cringe when I see player of the match. No, it's man of the match. It's men's football. It's man of the match. Dio, I thought, was very good last night. Tierney was absolutely excellent last night. He really was. 2 goals, took them so well. And you've kind of got to hope with the Václav Tierney situation that, you know, obviously with the 49ers Enterprises buying the club, that we can, you know, afford to keep Tierney now, that there is an ability to actually go and buy Václav Tierney, because he will be a massive loss for Rangers if we fail to keep hold of him. You know, he was brilliant. Again, absolutely brilliant. And giving him that freer role as well, I think really suited him. You know, his ability to, you know, not sort of been so reliant on him keeping the width. You know, the ability, yes, he could go out wide, keep width, but he could also come inside, he could cause problems, he could cut in, and it wasn't as much of an issue with him cutting in. Again, like I said, a bit of a tactical masterclass from Barry Ferguson. And it was clear that Barry Ferguson was obviously very happy with the result. He said, I thought to a man tonight, even the guys that came off the bench, you have to give them credit. Even the boys on the bench kept supporting. It's important to me. There is a real togetherness, and they certainly showed that on the pitch tonight, which they certainly did. Absolutely fantastic performance. Brilliant. Václav Tierney said, it was a massive win, but we know we're only halfway there. It was perfect opening game for us in the tie, and I think we deserved to win the game, and now we want to close it next week. And I think that's key. You know, look, it was a brilliant performance. Yes, it was an absolutely superb performance. Of course it was, to get the result. But it isn't over yet. And this is a Jose Mourinho team. Yes, they were absolute garbage last night, but, you know, the chances of them being garbage 2 weeks in a row is very slim indeed. They will be dangerous at Ibrox. They will come out. They've got nothing to lose now. They will try. They will go after us, and it will be a tough follow-up. So yeah, you know, he is 100% correct in what he says, that this tie is not yet over. You've got to certainly hope that you know, that we can obviously follow this through and get that result at Ibrox next week. And I'm sure, you know, with Ibrox rocking with the European atmosphere under the lights, it is, you know, going to give us that 12th man advantage and certainly help the boys out in the game. You know, look, last night's game, it was absolutely excellent. And look, I mean, to be honest with you, I sat and I kind of looked at it, I watched it, and I kind of reflected on it. And you know what I thought? I thought at the end of the day, I don't get why I am and why a lot of people are surprised at this performance. You know, this team was built for Europe. It was built for Europe. It wasn't built to win in Scotland. You know, it's a team that likes to have more time on the ball, that likes to have space to play, that likes to have space to work. And one of the things that playing in Europe affords you is that more time on the ball, more space, you know, more space to work, more space to go and create. You know, that ability to play through teams, to create those chances, to be that bit more clinical in front of goal because of the time you get on the ball. You know, certainly that's not what you have in Scotland. You know, in Scotland you have the low block, you have the, you know, how you have a press on you, you have teams kicking the crap out of you, you have, you know, 1,000,000-mile-an-hour football, you have hammer throwers coming through the back of you. You know, there's certainly none of that in Europe. And you know, this team is built for Europe. So I don't think, you know, it's a surprise, you know, well, as big a surprise, shall we say, the result last night, because of that fact that this team is a European team. It is built for Europe. The lessons I think that come out of this is that you do need to bring in a perhaps more domestic feel to the team for the games going forward next season. I think that obviously is something we do need to look at. You know, like I said, last night's performance, it bodes well for the future. It really does bode well in terms of, you know, what is important for the rest of the season. You know, like I've said on numerous occasions now, that the domestic season is over. You know, we're 16 points behind Celtic. There's absolutely zero chance that we can win the league. So that's done. The Scottish Cup's gone. The League Cup obviously is done and dusted as well. So this is our one chance, you know, to have some success, to do well. And you know, we've got to follow through on that next week at Ibrox. It really does need to be that top performance again. You know, in terms of results in the rest of Europe last night, Manchester United drew 1-1 away in the Basque Country against Real Sociedad. A very dodgy penalty for Real Sociedad. You've got to kind of favour them going through then. FCSB lost 3-1 at home to Lyon. Again, you've got to favour Lyon. Alkmaar beat Tottenham 1-0. Guess that's all still to play for back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Lazio won 2-1 in the Czech Republic against Victoria Plitzen. Again, you've probably got to look at Lazio going through. Bodo Glimt won 3-0 at home to Olympiacos. Kjetil Knutsen continues to pull off those European surprises. Name on the trophy. Ajax 1, Eintracht Frankfurt 2. You know, that's a bit of a surprise result. You know, you'd fancy Ajax at home. But looks like Frankfurt could be progressing. What odds a Rangers Frankfurt rematch in a final. And Roma Athletic Club finished 2-1 to the Italians. Athletic Club, I think, they had a player sent off. Alvarez, you've got to think, I think given the fact that Roma scored in the 93rd minute, you've got to fancy Bilbao's chances of getting through with the return leg in the Basque Country next week, which obviously with Rangers Bilbao would be an absolute mouth-watering tie and an absolutely cracking tie. Very, very difficult tie against a very, very good Bilbao side. But look, overall optimistic with that performance, a good performance going forward. Look, focus now turns back to the domestic competition. Obviously to Sunday. Sunday's game, Sunday's game, we actually don't have a game on Sunday. No, we don't have a game on Sunday. There's no game this weekend. So we've obviously got a week to prepare for the Fenerbahce tie before the Celtic game on the 16th. So, it's good that we obviously have that whole week now to prepare. Barry's got a whole week to work with the players to prep them, to get them ready for the Fenerbahce games. That's really good news. Obviously, I think it's because the cup ties are supposed to take place this weekend, I think. So that's why obviously there's no game for Rangers this weekend. But look, good performance, good result. Let's take it on, in the Europa League. I mean, let's face it, this season now comes down to how far can we go in the Europa League. That's what the season is all about. Right, guys, thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. As always, please smash the sub, comment, share and like. And remember always, we are the people.